What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Goblin Bikers running it back with Todd, and then on the right side, we have us playing Spright. This is going to be a locals feature match, going to be at a finals of a locals. I believe it was a 12, 13, or 14 person locals here. We have won the die roll, which means Sprite's going to be able to go off first. Before we dive on in, don't forget to like, comment, share, option a lot. We're on the 10K and we are as support. We are going to be seeing one of the best starters for Spright, going to be activating Swap Frog, sending a copy of Angler. This is going to allow us to have access to double beavers, as well as a totally awesome being on setup number 4, or summon number 5, I should say. And then we are going to be able to bounce back a beaver as well, having an additional normal summon, which is going to be pretty crazy. We are going to be going up into that totally awesome here, but first we should be bouncing back a beaver. So we are going to be thinking on this, looking at our hand, and we are activating the effect of Swap Frog, going to be bouncing back that beaver, and then we make that totally awesome. So now we have a negate on summon number 5. We're going to summon out a copy of the blue, which can allow us to activate the effect searching for a jet, and then we can overlay immediately into a gigantic, but instead we're going to summon out a jet here, allowing us to search for the double cross. Now, this is a little bit of a mistake I personally would not want to do. I mean, this is looking back, of course, and hindsight is 2020, but we're going to be making a gigantic here, most likely. We're looking at making a copy of the Silhouette Rabbit here instead, which is going to then be able to set the trap from the deck. But still, I mean, we can still play through this. We are going to be going up into a gigantic, and then that's going to allow us to activate the effect, summoning out either a carrot or a red. And they do activate Nibiru here, and then we are most likely going to be negating that with the totally awesome. So we do see that going to be sent, and we don't choose to set it here. I don't really feel like there is a reason to set it, but we are going to be summoning out our copy of red. Okay, so now we activate the effect, and we didn't add back with the totally awesome here either. So now we're just summoning out the red, and then we are going to be seeing totally awesome's effect going to then activate, allowing us to add back a beaver. Or adding back Swap Frog here. I suppose it's also going to be pretty fine. We know some of the beaver, activating the effect, bringing out the angler. And then we can link those two away for an IP if we wanted to, which is going to give us access to a whatever it's called, to a copy of SP. Now, if we were playing the Fiendsmith cards, we could have gone up into that instead and then started going for the Fiendsmith package. We are locked into level 2s, which is why we don't like doing that. You know, it can play through it, but we like this setup a little bit better. The Fiendsmith would end on a different board. So we're going to be seeing the double crosser in the draw phase, going to be bringing back out that totally awesome. And now we have totally awesome as well as red. They're going to summon out a copy of Terror Top here, which can then search us for the Tacky Tom board in the deck, which is going to be a rank 3 without a normal summon for anyone who has not seen the deck. We're going to then activate the effect of the red on the Terror Top, destroying the gigantic, which is then going to be able to destroy that Terror Top and not let it search the effect, which is quite nice here. But they do chain a copy of E-Telly. I'm pretty sure that's going to be fine. We don't necessarily care about that. So we do let it resolve, and we see a Nyan Nyan or a Tracker being summoned. We're already seeing the Nyan Nyan being summoned here, and they are going to be destroying it. And now we have to kind of think, do we want to go up into an SP or not? Now, they do have a Tracker in the hand, or the other card, the Wielder. This will be essentially an extender there, which I feel like is kind of the reason why they did that, chaining it, making it so that they kind of always feel like they have that level 3, just making us be kind of aware and wondering if they do have it. Now, they have 4 of the cards in the hand. I should say maybe 3 cards left in the hand, but you know, it's going to be quite nice, especially if we have another card in the hand that's going to be a hand trap, or maybe even a set imperm or 2. We're going to be seeing a talent that's going to activate the effect, and we should 100% chain totally awesome to this to negate it. we are going to be seeing Toad, Negate, and Steal. And we still have, we're going to see Toad's going to activate the effect, allowing us to add back the Angler. So now we have Swap Frog and Angler in the hand to be able to, once again, go for a nice little combo. We do still have the Trap, which is going to be able to negate an XYZ summon at any point of time, which is going to be pretty nice, as well as the IP going up into an SP still. We're going to see Goblin Bikers going to be emitting defeats, making it so that we kind of don't get to see. I think they had a Tour Guide in their hand as well, but like once again, they know we have that set trap, which in the immediate time they try to go up for an XYZ summon, we could just negate the summon and then you can send it to the graveyard. So very, very powerful. Unfortunately, they didn't end up drawing any other hand trap other than Nibiru. If we did maybe see a copy of Pirellia going to be sided on into this matchup, it's going to be quite a little bit easier for Goblin Bikers. You know, Spright does get hit quite hard with Pirellia, which is very unfortunate because that card is going to be pretty much everywhere. And we just got an introduction to the third Molcharmy here, which is going to be a Earth Beast red or orange looking one, which says Graveyard and Banishment, which is kind of cool. So now we have all kind of three areas, you know, the hand and the deck, or I should say hand, and then we also have the deck, an extra deck, and then we have the Graveyard and the Banishment. I wonder if the following one, if there is another one, is going to be maybe like the Spells and Traps, or setting from the deck as well, perhaps. But we're going to be diving on into Game 2, where we are going to be seeing the Goblin Biker deck going to be choosing to go first, so most likely not going to be playing those copies of the Pirellias. But there is a chance they want to go second, because that card is going to be crazy versus Spright. There's no areas where we can play around it. But do you really rely your deck on just drawing one a copy of a card, or maybe another copy of Full Roast? I don't believe so. So we are going to be seeing the Goblin Bikers going to be most likely going first here, and let's dive on in. We see a double cross in the hands of the Spright player here, and once again we see a Tacky Tomborg being summoned out. We have no way to negate it this time, so it's going to be able to search for the Terror Top, and now we have a rank 3 without having to commit any normal summon. So a 1-card rank 3 is quite nice in this deck. We're going to be seeing the Goblin again activate the effect, and we do hit that with a Veiler. We are going to then normal summon out a Tour Guide, activate its effects, being able to summon out a Merciless, and we Veiler this once again. This is going to allow us to essentially not get another rank 3 on the field without having to commit and doing something else, which is kind of important. So the reason why I wanted to hit the Tour Guide, which I'm going to be mentioning, is because like if they have another extender here, or if they would have summoned it out, I could either hit a draw 1, not a very good Veiler, or I could hit the Search for the Trap. Now that card is definitely good to be able to hit. Unfortunately, I just want to make it so they can't, kind of continue. And that's exactly what happens here. So we're going to be seeing them just pass turn on this, and now it's back to us. So their hand's most likely going to be loaded up with hand traps and stuff like that, or maybe some bricks. Like we see another Terror Top in their hand, which is not going to do anything. But they also have a Nibiru in this case. So maybe we're going to be playing into Nibiru. I guess we shall find out. We're going to go Veiler on the Gabunga once again here. I'm not exactly sure why I do this. I know it has a secondary effect when we do attach a card, or I guess a material, it's going to be able to suck up. So being able to try to go for a Gigantic is going to be kind of problematic when they're going to be just sucking up our cards. So hitting that with an Imperm is going to make it so that it does not suck up. And then we go for a starter into a blue. Blue is going to go for Jet. Jet's going to go for another starter. And then we're going to go up into a Sprint. Sprint can then activate the effect, sending an Angler from the deck to summon out 2 more Beavers. And we are going to be attempting to go for an OTK. We search for the starter because we also have the double cross and the Gamma Burst in the hand here, which I should mention. But we do overlay now for a Gigantic. And we choose to keep the Sprint on the field for the bounce effect because we can't go for a game. Not exactly sure here. But they are thinking on the summon. So they have Veiler, Imperm, Nib, and they ask what do they know in hand, and I show them just the starter. So they are thinking on this. I mean, if we do special summon red out right now, they will be able to continue playing. But, they're going to go Nib on the summon here, making it so that they don't have to waste their Valor here. And if we do decide to continue out our combo, they can just Valor whatever we summon out. I definitely think that's probably the correct play in this case. I don't know where the Nib is. I was going to say, okay, they didn't know where it was either. We're going to set 2 more cards to this pass turn on this. So now they're going to have to find a way to kind of continue. We can play a little bit of a slow game because both the players here kind of have those cards that are going to be, kind of be playing first. But they do normal summon out a Clatter. Now, I believe Clatter doesn't do anything on normal other than bring out a Goblin. But they don't have another level 3 Goblin Biker, so they have to summon out a copy of Bakabunga. That's going to be very unfortunate for them because that's not going to let them to go up into another XYZ. Because obviously the Bakabunga is an XYZ himself. We can go up into the full armored, which can then activate the effect, letting us search for the trap card here, which is going to be pretty nice. So we do opt to ash that and make it so they have to hard draw into it. We are kind of in a simplified game state. We have Gamma Burst alongside the starter set. And then our copy of the Nib token is pretty big in attack, obviously. But they go up into the full armored Dark Lancer here. And this is going to have a little bit of a struggle to kind of beat over the stuff. They do go battle phase, and then Nib's going to beat over our monster. And they can just attack us with the full armored as well as the Clatter, dealing us 28 alongside wherever Clatter is, the 15. So dealing us a little bit of damage here. We don't chain the starter to go up into like a blue and then double cross it because there's no really point of doing that. But they go up into an SP. SP is going to target the starter, and then we chain it there to bring out the blue. Blue is going to activate the effect, making us take another 11. So we've taken 22 to our own effect, and then 15 and 28 to our opponent. And then blue is going to search for, I believe it was a Jet. We're then going to special summon out Jet, activate the effect here. It's going to let us search, and we do chain a Valor to that as well. So make it so that we do not have another extender here. Pretty understandable, honestly. It's crazy that starter was limited for a long time as well. But we ask about the full armored Lancer here. Very powerful card if you guys do not know what the card does. If you don't know what it does, it definitely can be surprising and can screw you up quite a bit. And so we're going to go up into the carrot, and then we're going to go activate Gamma Burst here, making everything linked to level 2 and rank 2 go up by 14 attack. So they are going to chain SP to this. Spoiler alert, they didn't know SP also gains the attack. And so they also banish a copy of the of Jet here. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. So I was hoping that they did that there so that we can kind of play through. Because a lot of players don't realize that it's all level 2s on the field. Now, it only really came up in Spright and mirror matches, which was not a very big popular thing at the time because tier elements was a big thing. But at the time, I was playing tier, so it kind of was important. So we do see the Gigantic attempt to be summoned. Then we activate the Clutter, detaching to summon out itself, and then they can activate the effect, summon out the Bakabunga. And so then we summon out a copy of Swap Frog. Swap Frog can activate the effect, and we just scoop it up, realizing that we're not able to win here. Swap Frog is going to go up into a totally awesome, and they can just beat over it. Nothing's going to happen. We can't really win. And that's just going to be owing to game number 3. So even stopping like the full armored XYZ, we saw that the Goblin deck was able to just take the grind very slowly and just take the win. That's something that's really important with Spright, in this format, is that you do have those cards you have to worry about. Now we have to worry about Prelia going second, I guess I say going first. We have to worry about that. But other cards as well, we saw Nib being able to take the cards out. Nib Imperm just kills the deck completely. There's nothing you can do to play around it. And then even just looking at other things, it's if they have 2 negates, you're not going to be able to beat that. Compared to a bunch of other decks like Snake Eyes, Fire King, Memento, even Goblins can play through it. Spright is a really good deck for a budget level entry. You're able to play a bunch of different cards, and you have some times where your engine is going to be able to be completely insane, and you open up 2 or 3 on engine, and you're able to go full combo. But unfortunately, there are going to be some games where you just lose automatically because you just cannot beat the board, or you cannot set up a powerful enough board because of those hand traps. So definitely, make sure when you are playing that, or if you want to pick that deck up, that you do realize those stuff, so you don't just feel discouraged when you end up getting, let's say, 2-0 or something like that. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. But we are going to be moving on into game number 3 here, with Goblin Bikers going to be choosing to go, or I guess being forced to go second. So let's see if we draw any copies of Prelia. We're going to be pile shuffling here in the 8s. And we are diving on in. I have wanted to test out the Fiendsmith Spright variant. I just haven't gotten the time to kind of test it out due to having regionals. But now that regionals are kind of over for the rest of the year, I'm definitely going to be trying out some different content and some different decks for you guys as well. I'll probably put up a poll if it was not put up prior to this video already going up about what deck I should really play. But if you guys want to be playing any deck, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll definitely play it at some point, test it out or whatever. We do see a starter going to be activating here into a jet. Jets can allow us to have access to a double cross, and then we summon out the blue. I was going to say, normally you do this because you have the blue already in hand, and then we're going to be seeing special summoned out, searching for a copy of red. So now we can actually play through a Valor Nib here, but it's going to be a little bit hard if they have multiple, so maybe even an imperm in this case. We're going to be seeing the spring going to be made and dumping the angler, summon out the double beavers, and then we can go up into the gigantic. Gigantic's going to activate the effect, and we're going to be performing a nib check, and we are clear, summoning out a totally awesome Swap Frog, making totally awesome, I should say. I always call it totally awesome. That's exactly what it equals to, but it's not necessarily that exact card. So we're going to see Swap Frog going to be sending that, and then we're going to activate the effect. And we don't have the effect, so we already have it in the hand here. We go Swap Frog bouncing back the beaver, and then we are going to be going up into that totally awesome by playing the spell, and we still have our normal summon of the beaver, which can give us either a IP or the rabbit in this case. We're a normal summon of the beaver, activating the effect, bringing out the angler, and we have just two options. We can make the IP or the rabbit. We see the IP being made, setting 2 cards here and just passing turn. So we may already have the trap in the hand, which can be quite nice. So the only thing I have concerns about is that the fact that red is in attack position, but it is what it is. I should have summoned it in defense. But then during the standby phase, we're going to see totally awesome summon another Swap Frog, and that's going to be allowing us to have access either for that red or the IP. So we go Lightning Storm here, trying to take the monsters. We do chain Totally Awesome to steal it, and then we're going to be activating the effect, adding back the beaver. And then before they activate anything else on resolution, we're going to go Trap Effect to bring out, and then we do chain a starter to summon out a carrot. So taking 1,000 life points, bringing us down to 7,000. So now we have a spell negate, a omni negate, and a monster negate, and we are going to be cooking. If we did see a copy of Dark Ruler No More here, we would be absolutely losing, but let's see if we can kind of play through this. A lot of decks really just can't. They do have a Duster in the hand as well, which I feel like we probably should have activated prior to the Lightning Storm, but it is what it is. We are going to be seeing the Terror Top going to activate the effect, and we do chain a red to destroy it, making it so that we cannot search a Tacky Tom board. Like I mentioned in the game 1, this card is going to be absolutely crazy, making it so that we do not have to waste our normal summon on getting a rank 3 on the field, and a rank 3 is essentially going to be a full combo. So now we're left onto 2 cards, I believe, and one of them being a Duster. Not going to be doing very much for them. Actually, might be 4 cards, I could be mistaken. But we have still, 4 interruption points. We're going to see an E-Telly going to activate the effect, and we should just let that resolve here. It's not going to be doing very much for them. It's going to have to be another monster, which can have to be able to trigger. It's going to be only half of a rank 3, I guess I should say. So we go for the Nyan Nyan here, which is going to be half of a rank 3, like I mentioned, but also another half, as in the second body that can bring itself back. And we do normal summon a Tour Guide here. So they do choose to not activate the effect, which is so that we cannot take it with the Totally Awesome. But we do chain IP into this, going up into that SP. SP then going to be able to banish the Tour Guide on Summon, or the Nyan Nyan here, which can then put itself back into the bottom of the deck. And they just emit defeat here, realizing they have lost the game. So the reason why they didn't activate the effect is if we just negate it with Totally Awesome, it's going to be game. They're kind of like forcing us to go up into that SP, and then SP is going to trigger. And if we did not, they would be able to go up into a Gabunga. Gabunga could be able to search, or even if they went up into the 49, 49 can then attack and then make a Zeus, and then we kind of be in trouble there. So that's kind of the reason why they did it there. Unfortunately, it did not pan out for them. We did see the line, and so we ended up taking the game. Regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see more content like this. Let me in the comment section down below what other decks you guys want me to play. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.